right, folks, welcome to the 5th episode of Live from the Black House. Before we get started, very interesting guests. We got two very interesting guests and one person who you know already. But to my right, your left is Mr. 718 himself.
That's right.
Isaiah Martin, congressional candidate, raised $718,000 in the third quarter of his campaign. How does it feel?
It feels great.
Absolutely. So you raised a whole lot of money. You got a whole lot of energy behind you. This is going to be a very competitive race. But tell the folks a little bit about yourself and like what made you run for Congress. That is a huge thing to do.
You know, it's been a crazy whirlwind. I'll say that. I mean, to say that, you know, we were able to have 35,000 contributions.
35,000.
I mean, it's really something that's breathtaking. $19 average is what powered this campaign. And I think one of the other things that's really interesting about it, we didn't have a single fundraiser to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a single fundraiser. We didn't have a single max out. And I think what's
not a single fundraiser. Wait, for those of you that are not in politics, that was some bars right there.
Sure.
He didn't have a single fundraiser. So fundraisers are when wealthy people call their wealthy friends or some of their well-to-do people, they get them in a room and then everybody donates money. You didn't have to do that. You didn't do that.
No.
Wow. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself. I mean, I'll tell you what I know. So I first saw your run the first time around. Was it 18 that you ran for?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you ran for 18 the first time. Didn't really hear a lot. And then all of a sudden, it was like you jumped in this time and everybody sort of took notice.
Right. Yeah. You know, it was crazy. You know, I ran because, you know, Congresswoman called me and told me that she was running for mayor. And I told her on the phone that I wanted to be her successor.
Wow.
And she said, go for it.
Wow.
So, you know, it was an amazing run, you know, for a couple months. And unfortunately, she didn't win that mayor's race. And, you know, I stepped back because she was like a grandmother-like figure for me.
Absolutely.
There's no way. And got involved immediately to go and make sure she could win that re-election. She won by 30, despite the fact the poll said that she was tied. But, you know, that's either here nor there.
The poll said she was tied?
Yeah, I remember
They said she was tied with who?
With Amanda Edwards. That's what they said, you know, but hey.
All right.
You know,
Everybody's winning.
Everybody's winning.
You know how the polls go. But but seriously, you know, I'm somebody who's from this city, grew up in Houston, went to elementary school, middle school, high school, college, worked here, spent 4 years as the congresswoman as their senior advisor, and, you know, traveled around the country to elect House Democrats as well. So a lot of good work.
Before we get to this other candidate, we're going to spend a little bit of time with you. What was it like? There are a lot of people who are probably watching right now. I was a staffer. I actually worked for State Representative Dr. Alma Allen.
Okay.
One legislative session, long time ago, 2011. I mean, long time ago. So I know a little bit about it, but what was your path to get even to that point of being like a staffer for a member of Congress?
Well, for me, I met the congresswoman in college. I was doing this really big initiative to try to get people to go vote at U of H, and she just showed up to one of our press conferences.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
I mean,
that's what she did.
That's what she did. She just showed up. I had no idea that she was going to be there.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I was actually talking, and I look up and I see all these dudes in suits. You know, she had the full detail. She came down and she goes and she shakes my hand. She's, I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. And it was almost like meeting Michael Jackson or something. I had never seen that before.
Yeah.
And so then she goes and she gives me her phone number.
Oh.
And she says, Isaiah, if you ever need anything, let me know.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And so about a week later, because I was feeling,
Yeah.
you know.
So at the time, what is your like role? Like, what was this? Were you like at a club? Was it a club or organization or like what is it?
So I was the leader of this club called For the Students.
Okay.
And so it was something that we originally started to do sexual assault prevention on college campuses.
Okay.
But then a lot of us got pissed off because we had to wait like 4 hours to go vote at U of H in 2020.
Okay.
So then we shifted it to go and work towards.
So you were a student in 2020.
I was.
Y'all.
Isn't that crazy? I was.
And he's a candidate for Congress. Keep going.
But yeah, so we did that, and so about a week after I met the congressman, we were doing this food drive.
Okay.
And it was this statewide competition that I created with a couple other universities on who could raise the most for like food insecurity. Right?
Okay.
And we were getting crushed. Texas Tech was screwing us up.
Okay.
They were because Texas Tech had fully bought in.
Don't they do the tortilla thing?
Yeah, they do. They
do the tortilla.
100%.
Yeah,
They do it. And so they had like fully bought in, and we're getting killed. So I was thinking, okay, I really need some publicity.
yeah.
Who's the one person I know who can really make some noise?
Yeah.
So I just remember looking at my phone, and I said, I'm going to call the Congresswoman.
Yeah.
And I called her phone, didn't expect for her to answer at all. I didn't expect for her to answer at all. And then all of a sudden I hear in the background, Mr. Speaker, blah, 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 like something on the floor. She answers my phone call on the floor of the house. And she goes, this is Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Is this urgent? And I said, well, and my voice was shaking at this point because I was like, what the hell?
Because you could hear that she's on the floor.
I could hear that she was on the floor.
My
And I go, Congresswoman, I'm doing this food drive. Like, I really need your help. Like, could you please help? She's like, what's it called? And I said, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was whatever the name was, right? And so I gave her the name. She said, okay. And then she just hangs up. Doesn't say bye, doesn't say anything. She just hangs up.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
Within a couple hours, she's on CNN, and she goes, yeah, I've just partnered with a couple of kids I met at the University of Houston, and they're launching this food drive that needs your help.
Whoa!
And she goes, I need your help. I need you all to go in and to support this effort immediately right now. And I was like shocked. And then she calls me and goes, okay, Isaiah, so I will be in Houston on Friday, and we will do a press conference, and we will bring everybody together. You got to get everybody there and do it. And so I was in awe. Like, I was like, I had never really seen anything like this.
As you should be.
So after this whole debacle, right, we won the challenge, by the way.
Yeah,
we
of course you did.
She crushed it, right? So after this whole thing, I was like, I need to just be around this person. Like, I asked her, I said, what can I do to learn? She said, I'll let you know. She would just send me an event, and then I would just show up. And so the first thing was her toy drive, that she does every year for Christmas.
Every year. Yeah.
Then she was doing, at that time, vaccinations and testing.
Mm-hmm.
And so then,
because it's during COVID.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Okay.
And so she would just send me these locations, and I would just show up. And I'd be the first person there, the last person to leave. And I would just do that all of the time. And so I did this for weeks. And I never and it was like almost like everybody was like, wow, you're pretty much like with us now at this point.
Yeah.
And then, the Congresswoman just kind of started to like give me more things to do. And then like, she was like, after I graduated, right? Mm-hmm. Because I was thinking like, okay, I've left this organization, I'm leaving. It's now time for me to go be an adult.
What were you going to do? Because that's a very interesting segue. But had you not like lightning struck, what was your plan? Like, what did you want to do?
I was going to go to law school.
Okay.
I was I really wanted to. I really wanted to be a lawyer. I thought that that's what I was going to do, and I had kind of like trained my life to kind of like be in that position. Mm-hmm. And then, after I graduated, she was like, "Well, you don't have to stop helping, right? Like you can still be around, right? Mm-hmm. You can still do things." And then I said, well, what am I going to? She said, "You're going to be my senior advisor." I said, I'm 20.
Whoa.
I'm 23, 20. How is that? And she said, you'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
And from that point on, every single day, pretty much for the next 3 years until the day she died, I talked to her about what was going on in Washington. Yeah. In terms of researching, I was a big research person. Okay. Right? So like when she had a bill that she was like really trying to figure out, like she would say, Isaiah, I need you to look up X, Y, Z, and I'm gonna call you. And then she would call me at like 1 o'clock at night, and then we would like figure it out, and and the rest is kind of history.
And the rest is not history. Now you are running for that seat. That